What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Troy Rawlings here. Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the. I know it's been a long time. Y'all been fiending. And we got a great show today. Great show. Chance to interview it's like an East Coast homeboy, recent homeboy. Are you a Philly native?
Yes, I am. Born and raised. I'm not going to do the Fresh Prince thing on here, though.
Oh, well, we got to talk a little bit about Philly because it's definitely got all my love. Philly native, singer, songwriter, music business professional. I met this brother actually through big shout out to Damon, DJ DB7, and he was one of the people, whether he knows it or not, got to give you flowers beforehand, early off. Whether you know it or not, you were instrumental with Will Downing's show. Was one of the first shows on LA Radio Now, our debut shows. So you were instrumental to getting us a good positioning with the smooth jazz market and the adult listeners and all those people. And he's crushing the charts again. Got a new project out called Don't Throw Our Love Away. Y'all make some noise for Philly's own Ashley Scott.
What's up, sir?
How are you, Doctor?
I'm good, man. Definitely shout out to my boy Dane for introducing us, man. And glad, we could help out with the station during that time for, when you guys were running the wind down. Still are. And, I'm excited about this new single that just came out on April 23rd, Don't Throw Our Love Away. It's getting a lot of love right now on UK radio as well as, some smooth jazz stations here in the States. And I'm just excited, man. It's available on all platforms, especially at my website, ashleyscottmusic.com. Just click on the music store. You can get all my music right there.
So let's go back, Ash, because I met you on the business tip and then found out you're a musician, singer, songwriter. You went to, of course, he said you went to HU. So you went to HU for music. Did you come from a musical family?
Yes. Yes, definitely a musical family. My dad's sister is a member of a female vocal trio that started here in Philadelphia back in 1963, and she joined when she was 15 years old. She was in the group for the very first 3 years, but then took 10 years off. So she took from 1966 to 1976 off, and she came back to the group, and she's still there to this very day. So this group has been active and performing every calendar year since 1963. So this is 58 years for them. And it makes them the longest running female vocal trio in music history. The group is called the 3 Degrees, and they're known for the song When Will I See You Again, as well as TSOP, The Sound of Philadelphia, which is the theme song or the original, I would say second and most known theme song for the TV show Soul Train.
Yes. So coming up in Philly, you in the heart, from a musical background, from a musical family, in the heart of the city of brotherly love, you got Sounds of Philadelphia. You got all these amazing musicians and stuff coming up in every generation. There's never been a skip generation of music in Philadelphia. Right. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to soul music. So who are some of your main influences coming up?
Well, definitely my aunt was the blueprint, and she was the direct blueprint for what the industry was. And, make no mistake, while they are still a great group and great performers, because the proof is in the pudding that she's still doing it, for 58 years, someplace in the world, because they're primarily known abroad in England, Japan, the Netherlands, Germany, Belgium. And, before things got crazy, they were pretty known in the Middle East as well. They actually did the very first color TV special for the city of Dubai. And in England, they were known as Prince Charles's favorite singing group. So they performed at Buckingham Palace for his 30th birthday party, and they were the only Americans other than Nancy Reagan to attend the royal wedding reception of Prince Charles and Princess Diana. But that was the blueprint, because that's what I saw firsthand. My mother grew up on the same block as the Delphonics. So William Hart, Randy Kane, and Wilbert Hart were like extended uncles and the brothers that, my mother and her sisters never had. My aunts on that side of the family. So La Means I Love You, Did Not Blow Your Mind, Ready or Not, Break Your Promise. Those are all songs that were played in my household and that I just chose to listen to every day.
It
And,
explains
watch
the
their
love
videos as
music,
well.
that love music flow, because your lyrics and the flow of "Don't Throw Our Love Away." Yes, it has the what they call now the smooth jazz flow, but it for us it's just always been good soul music. We had love
Yeah,
songs that were fast and slow for years.
right, right.
So it has the lyrics, the song, the feel. It has that feel, that old school feel that's synonymous with those classics.
Yeah, I'm definitely a traditionalist with, my creative approach. I definitely write, love songs. I definitely write, I try to write good sing-along melodies, and I think this song is a very good sing-along song. I think anybody, whether you have musical abilities or not, can walk down the street and just hum this particular song, just like you can a lot of those other classics. I mean, musical influence wise, I mean, definitely everything that came out of Philadelphia, everything that came out of Motown. We all went through our Michael and Prince and Stevie Wonder phases and our Luther phases, and then moving into the '90s R&B and into the neo soul realm of the early 2000s. And the people that are still here doing it, all those legends are still doing it. And with contemporaries like Ledisi, Layla Hathaway, you know, my brother Eric Roberson and Frank McComb and Will Downing, you know,
Yeah,
and you try to name it everybody on these interviews and you always forget one or two
right,
people.
right.
Some of your recent guests, Kindred the Family Soul. I've been supporting them and cool with them since they were performing here at the Black Lily, in Philly during that time before the album came out. So their music was so synonymous here in Philly just on a live performance, and that when the album came out, we've been singing these songs for a couple of years. Far Away was a hit, before it was even dropped. So,
Exactly.
Stars, all those great songs from that first album.
Now, I love the fact being here and we had the same kind of energy in Baltimore. Not as it's funny because we say star-studded, like you said, you were listening to Far Away and Stars and stuff like that before it hit. Your music, people who've known you. I didn't know how deep you were into the industry until I started looking at some of the music you were doing, and then also just recently, of course, we had a close friend of both of us, Paris Bowens, passed away. But that knit,
Try not to get teary eyed on it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that was
that knit of family. Um, how much does that mean for the industry? Because we don't get a chance to see a lot of that, like in a lot of the maybe with some of the younger artists, the newer artists, we don't get a chance to. Not saying they don't have the camaraderie, but there seem to be a cohesiveness with those in R&B and the soul music, and there's in jazz, there's a cohesiveness that exists, a family knit.
I think that every city has their own musical community, and I think that each city is connected by probably 6 degrees of separation or less. And I just think that each community, each genre, has their community, and they do stick together. And social media has been a platform to connect a lot of people that probably wouldn't have the opportunity to meet, you know, or connect with each other if not through these platforms. Um, if you want to take Paris, for instance, he started about 20 years ago during that whole neo soul scene. He was really young. And, he was working with, playing with his Thaddeus Tribbett and Spanky and a lot of other musicians around town at that time and just doing session work, whether it was for Eric Roberson or Vivian Green or if Gerald Levert came to town, and I guess once Ty Tribbett got his thing together, they were all instrumental in developing that particular sound for those early albums. But he also, had second other gigs with, like, say, Anthony Hamilton, and he was always a live player. But social media, because of his legacy and the recordings and things that he played on, his social media platform was huge, and he utilized it not just for music, but to minister to other people. He he would come on for 3 hours of Facebook Live just preaching from the Bible and telling his testimony. And a lot of young church musicians really looked up to him. He was endorsed by some corporate, electronic companies and things of that nature. And he was just an amazing person. And, like I said, we recently lost him, but no one could foresee. I mean, of course, no one ever knows the hour, day, or time,
Right.
of a transition. But with the faith that everyone had and that we were all praying so much, you couldn't tell me we were going to be here this time this week and saying that he's not here. For me, I really thought that this was just going to be another chapter of his testimony.
Right. Right. And definitely love and miss Paris. And those are things that make you appreciate it. The biggest thing I can say about the brother that makes, I think we both mentioned this, it just kind of makes you want to do more. You see, when you look at his flow and everything he was doing, it was like he did not waste any of his breath. He did not waste any time.
He didn't. He was constantly on the move, and he moved according to this by the Spirit, and he just always did what God told him to do. That's just the best way to see it from this standpoint. He was a talented, young brother, and community is big. You do wish you had more time. I mean, I wish I could have co-written a song with him. But as busy as people get in life, and especially musicians traveling and all that, the love is always there. You always pick up where you leave off. And it's always like, hey man, we should get together. Yeah, let's do it. All right. And you say the same thing the next time you see him,
right.
Because everybody's moving around like ships in the night.
So where do you where does the gist of you talk about songwriting, and that would have been phenomenal. Where do the base of your songs, I'll say as of recent, where does your inspiration come from? Where do you get like a song like "Don't Throw Our Love Away"? Was that based on a true story? Was that one of those things like, let me write this poem here?
This was actually one of the funniest stories I could ever tell. To kind of quote Kenny Gamble, songwriters are journalists in their own right, and they get inspiration from things that they see every day. Case in point, for them, when they wrote Me and Mrs. Jones, they were taking a break from the studio and going down to a cafe that was, on the same block as the studio, and they would see a judge in the corner with someone that was not his wife. And so, of course, they had to change the name of the song. And so because the judge and the woman were jonesing for each other, they said Me and Mrs. Jones. But they would see them every day at the same place, at the same time, 6:30.
After work.
Right. So in my case for this particular song, I was actually headed to the studio to record something else that's not released yet. And my car broke down, so I had to take the bus. I hate taking the bus. So, but I had to get there to record. And we pulled up to this stop, and this couple got on the bus arguing. And they must have had a knockdown, drag-out fight when the bus pulled up to their stop. And she was laying him out, and he was trying to plead his case and be strong. And everybody on the bus was trying to look down at their phones and not laugh and not zone into them. But we couldn't help it because they were so loud. People were looking at their newspapers and trying not to look at their faces and things of that nature. And we're all texting, and everybody's just down there cracking up. And it was almost, now this is how I wrote the song, but I'm comparing this couple a little bit to the very first episode of Martin, where Martin kind of played Gina on the radio, and he goes, all right, step. I'm cool, Gina. I'm going to be all right. Go ahead, step. And she said, all right. And she started to walk out the door. He goes, no. And he's like, you won, baby, you won. Well, that's how they were on the bus. And as they got off, she said, all right, come to my apartment, get your stuff, and get out. And then that's where he said, all right, let's work this out. He said, don't throw our love away. And then the doors closed and we kept going and they walked off. I don't know who they were. They don't know me, so they don't know that it was kind of based on that moment. But I
You're
kind
gonna
of
get a
put
call on
myself
one of the radio stations like, "Hello, Ashley.
right, right.
My name is
They
Keisha."
didn't see me. I didn't see them. And, I just kind of put myself in that place of, how would I say to somebody, don't throw our love away? So, the lyrics were, how did we get to this point of no return? We said some things that, cut like a knife, but I won't let you walk out of my life. And I just
It
started.
hit a little different when she's like, "Okay, come to my house, get your stuff." He's like, "Hold up, baby.
Right.
Wait. Let's think. Let's
Look,
think logically."
I have a warped sense of humor, and I was cracking up the whole time. But the comparison of the Martin episode is the best way to almost explain that story, because he was really trying to be strong and be cool, like he had it all together. But as soon as she said get out, that's where he was, oh baby, please, excuse me. He was on his steel like, Justine.
Just he's like, "You got to go deeper."
Right, go deeper. Boom, but don't, So he was, that was the story. And I wrote that song on the way to the studio and ended up trying to work on that one and the other song that we were working on at that time. So that's how we came up with it. I got some great musicians to play on this particular record from Philly. Rodney Miller, Damon Bennett, Stan Davis, Randy Boland, Brandon Mullen, two great background vocalists, Courtney and Zara. I was able to reach out to a very well-established and great saxophonist in Boston who's a smooth jazz, recording artist, Elon Trotman, to play on the record. And
Okay, that was Elon. Okay.
Yeah, it's Elon Trotman, and we just put it out this past Friday, April 23rd, and it's gotten a great response in the UK, it's getting picked up by some radio stations here in the States as well. So I'm praying I get to number one on any chart I can get to number one on, whether it's Billboard or the UK soul charts, and as well as other ones. So I'm really excited. I came out with a single last year. Came out with two singles. It was the original version and a remix. The title was called "Dance the Night Away," and it was co-written by Will Downing and I, as well as the music was done by a producer here in Philly named Wayne Parr. And the original version was released last February or January 31st, 2020, and it made it to number 10 on the UK soul chart. So it did really well. And I put out a dance remix for it in June, and it did pretty well on some radio charts in Italy.
Now, have you toured?
I have not toured overseas yet. We're in a pandemic, so I'm looking to, get there at some point when things open back up.
Yeah, it's. I think it's phenomenal that the way the world, already before pandemic and everything, the way the world accepted, loved music. How important is that now, do you think? Like, I'm hearing some songs, but it's like it was nothing. We talk about the Delphonics or a group like Blue Magic or the Spinners or even the Temptation. No one was too proud to beg, not to take the whole line from the song.
Right.
No one was too proud to beg, too proud to say, "I love you." It seems like in love, I do the love and relationship talk thing. It seems like in love and relationships now, everyone's like in their corners. Instead of being a team, where the sport is now boxing, and you're trying to love like this.
Well, relationships and marriage are not easy, period. And so we're in a different time than we were with our grandmothers and our parents and great grandparents at this particular point, where they stayed together 50 to 75 years. No matter what, they stayed together. The mentality of today is just not that anymore. And so, but in terms of the songwriting and things, back then every artist was very original. You could tell everyone had their own individuality. Nowadays, it's hard to tell who's different from who, on the radio. Is that this person? No, that's this person, So
that's a That's a really hard. The thing I like about your voice, you have a distinctive voice. The sound of the music, even with Dance the Night Away, the sound of the music. Seems like with the musicians and the writing. Do you play as well?
No, I don't. But I definitely have a traditional approach of bringing in musicians to cut everything live, which is, I didn't want a producer to be a one-man band and produce the track, and I didn't want to be the one-man band cutting all the vocal. Yeah. So, it's a great approach. It's a great feel. A lot of people love the sound because you don't really hear that sound anymore. It's so much more technology and less organic energy.
I think we're getting back to a lot more organic music, and appreciate it. We're gonna have to do it again. I know you got a boogie. I know you got meetings and stuff. But I want to make sure that everybody has your information. And for those that stick around, we have a special treat, because right after this interview, we're gonna do a meet the debut exclusive. I mean, it's not a world premiere because it's already out there, but of the video for Don't Throw Our Love Away. But let people know how to get in touch with you, and also how to get the project again.
So you can go to my website, ashleyscottmusic.com, and click on the music store, and you can get not only Don't Throw Our Love Away, but you can get Dance the Night Away, the original version and the remix, and my debut single from 2016 entitled Words. All the songs are up there. I am planning to do a dance remix for Don't Throw Our Love Away. So that's being worked out by the Steel Vibe Collective here in Philadelphia. And my next single will be out in July, entitled Thought of You. And that'll be followed by another Steel Vibe remix as well. And I'm really working hard to finish up this upcoming wedding song that I wrote called Together. Hopefully by beginning of fall, I want to get it out before the Christmas stuff hits the shelves, because once that comes out, they won't hear anything else. But
right, they're not gonna want to hear anything about love. It's like, we're gonna get these gifts.
Right. So and it comes out. Christmas stuff is on the shelf before Halloween nowadays. So that's crazy. But so I'm really working hard on getting these singles out this year. Again, my website is ashleyscottmusic.com. You can click on the music store, and I'm on all platforms, Twitter and Instagram. I'm Ashley Scott 3, and on Facebook it's I am Ashley Scott. So I do answer all messages. I would love to work with a lot of different musicians out there. I'm open to collaborations. So if you write me, I will write back.
Yes, Ashley Scott, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Ash, for taking time out. And like I said, if you stuck around this long, we got a special treat for you. The Meet the Show premiere, our premiere. You can call it a world premiere. Whatever, the horns, I don't have all that stuff.
Yeah, the buzzer too.
Yeah, the buzzer. I'm looking for the sound effect.
Sound effects, yeah.
But no sound effects needed. Enjoy Ashley Scott's new song, Don't Throw Our Love Away, right here. Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate
Thanks,
you, brother.
Thank you.
Return. We said some things that cut like a knife, but I won't let you walk out my life. Our love was blessed from above. Baby, don't throw our love away. It should grow and grow every day. Yeah. Today, 'cause our love is here to stay. Like we fuss and fight, it doesn't matter who's wrong or right. What can I do to make you see that you're the one for me? Like we fuss and fight, it doesn't matter who's wrong or right. What can I do to make you see that you're the one? After all these years, we cried so many tears and fears. Yeah. Joy and sorrow.